Welcome to College Briefing. The content of the briefing includes ambulance delays under investigation after WA man dies from bee sting. U.S. solar developers seek to reduce conflicts over land use. NASA unveils sample scooped from surface of near-Earth asteroid Bennu. Extreme renting, Amsterdam's two-tier system pits tenants against landlords. Jimmy's men's soccer ties, women's soccer wins at Mount Marty. Ambulance delays under investigation after WA man dies from bee sting. ABC. St. John Ambulance, Western Australia's main ambulance provider, is investigating a delayed response to a call for help which resulted in the death of a man from a bee sting. The ambulance took 19 minutes to arrive after a 000 call was made, and the man died from anaphylactic shock. St. John Ambulance has confirmed that all ambulances assigned to the area were fully crewed, but the specific details of what the local ambulance was attending during that time have not been disclosed. St. John Ambulance has promised to investigate whether a lack of available resources contributed to the man's death. Paramedics have raised concerns about St. John WA's reliance on volunteers and a lack of paid and unpaid staff in regional areas, which leads to longer response times. U.S. solar developers seek to reduce conflicts over land use. Reuters. The Solar Energy Industries Association, SEIA, has reached an agreement with environmental, conservation, farm and tribal groups to reduce conflicts over the siting of large-scale solar installations. The groups have established 6 working groups to address community engagement, tribal relations, policy solutions and the co-location of solar and farming. The agreement acknowledges that there is no such thing as impact-free energy development. The deal comes amid rising concerns about the aesthetics, property values and environmental impacts of large solar projects. NASA unveils sample scooped from surface of near-Earth asteroid Bennu. Al Jazeera. NASA has announced that a sample of material collected from the near-Earth asteroid Bennu contains abundant water and carbon, providing more evidence for the theory that life on Earth originated from outer space. The preliminary analysis, which involved scanning the sample with electron microscopy and X-ray computed tomography, revealed that carbon accounted for almost 5% of the sample's total weight and was present in both organic and mineral form. The water was found locked inside the crystal structure of clay minerals. The findings support the hypothesis that celestial objects like comets, asteroids, and meteorites seeded the primordial ingredients for life on Earth. Extreme renting, Amsterdam's two-tier system pits tenants against landlords. Financial Times. Rising rents and a shortage of affordable housing in Amsterdam have turned the city into a financial nightmare for many residents. Average rents in the Dutch capital rose 7.6% between April and July, hitting €20.55, $31.15 per square meter. Demand has been driven by the post-Brexit influx of white-collar workers and new regulations that restrict the number of properties available for rent. The Dutch government has also increased taxes on landlords, leading many to sell their properties. This has further reduced the supply of rental homes in a city already struggling with a housing shortage. The Netherlands' two-tier housing system, which restricts some homes to social tenants, has also contributed to the problem. The government plans to lower the threshold for social housing, which could transfer 327,500 unregulated rental properties into the social rental segment nationwide. The shortage of available land and rising costs of building materials and labor are also hampering construction projects. Jimmy's men's soccer ties, women's soccer wins at Mount Marty. Yahoo! The University of Jamestown's Jimmy's men's soccer team drew their 4th tie of the season, with a 1-1 result against Mount Marty University. The Jimmies took the lead in the 18th minute, before the Lancers equalized in the 40th. The Jimmies women's soccer team fared a little better, beating the Lancers 2-0. McConnell throws for 2 TDs and the UTEP defense had 2 takeaways in the 4th quarter to beat FIU 27-14. Associated Press. UTEP defeated Florida International 27-14 on Wednesday night to end its 4-game losing streak. Quarterback Cade McConnell threw for 262 yards and 2 touchdowns in his first collegiate start, while receiver Kelly Akarai had 8 catches for 223 yards and 2 scores. This was UTEP's first win in the state of Florida in program history. UTEP's defense also played a key role, with cornerback Torrey Richardson making an interception and linebacker James Neal recovering a fumble in the 4th quarter. Water worries test Northern Ireland's stagnant politics. Financial Times. Northern Ireland's water and sewage services operator, NI Water, is facing a funding shortfall of up to £70 million, $93 million, this year. The 25-year-old wastewater facility is already 40% over capacity and requires £180 million to £190 million in spending, according to Ronan Larkin, Finance and Regulation Director at NI Water. However, it is expected to receive £170 million. The company has said it needs to increase the amount of investment required under its 2021-27 plan to £2.7 billion from £2 billion, because inflation is running at 30% to 40% for some of the equipment and inputs needed. China's appetite for US IPOs shows little sign of roaring back. Nikkei Asia. Chinese companies are slowly returning to the US for IPOs after a year-long drought. However, geopolitical tensions, underperforming market debuts, and regulatory uncertainty cast doubts over how long the US will remain a preferred destination for Chinese companies. Regulatory hurdles from both China and the US, including the Holding Foreign Companies Accountable Act, have dampened interest among Chinese companies looking to list in the US. In addition, Beijing's crackdown on big Chinese tech companies and tighter cybersecurity and data controls have added to the challenges. Smaller IPOs have not performed well, which has discouraged larger offerings from entering the market. Elmira native Johnny Beecher helps Bruins beat Blackhawks in NHL debut. Yahoo! Elmira native Johnny Beecher made his NHL debut with the Boston Bruins in a 3-1 season-opening victory against the Chicago Blackhawks. Beecher, who earned a roster spot at center following a strong camp, won 6 of 11 faceoffs and had one shot in just over 10 minutes of ice time. He also received a boarding penalty that led to a 5-minute fighting penalty. Beecher was drafted by the Bruins in the first round in 2019 and played 3 seasons at the University of Michigan before spending time with the Providence Bruins of the AHL. 3 ways for UC football to beat Iowa State for their first ever Big 12 victory. Yahoo! University of Cincinnati's football team will be playing against Iowa State University in a homecoming match on Saturday. While both teams have lost games, UC has not yet won a Big 12 conference game. Ladies and gentlemen, I am Dr. Six, your resident observer from the 6 Degree World, here to bring you the latest news from around the globe. Let's dive right in. In Western Australia, a tragic incident has sparked an investigation into ambulance delays. A man died from a bee sting after waiting 19 minutes for an ambulance to arrive. St. John Ambulance, the main ambulance provider in the region, is looking into whether a lack of available resources contributed to the delay. Paramedics have raised concerns about the reliance on volunteers and a shortage of staff in regional areas, leading to longer response times. It's a reminder of the importance of efficient emergency services and the need for adequate resources. Moving on to the United States, solar developers are seeking to reduce conflicts over land use. The Solar Energy Industries Association has reached an agreement with various groups to address concerns about the siting of large-scale solar installations. With rising worries about aesthetics, property values, and environmental impacts, these working groups aim to find solutions that satisfy all parties involved. It's a positive step towards sustainable energy development while addressing community concerns. In a groundbreaking discovery, NASA has unveiled a sample collected from the near-Earth asteroid Bennu that contains abundant water and carbon. This finding provides further evidence for the theory that life on Earth originated from outer space. The presence of carbon in both organic and mineral form, as well as water locked inside the crystal structure of clay minerals, supports the idea that celestial objects like asteroids and comets played a role in seeding life on our planet. It's a cosmic reminder that we are all connected. Shifting gears to Amsterdam, the city's housing crisis has turned into a nightmare for many residents. Rising rents and a shortage of affordable housing have made it increasingly difficult to find a place to live. The influx of workers post-Brexit and new regulations limiting the number of rental properties have exacerbated the problem. The Dutch government's plans to lower the threshold for social housing could alleviate some of the strain, but challenges like the shortage of available land and rising construction costs remain. It's a complex issue that requires creative solutions. In sports news, the University of Jamestown's Jimmy's men's soccer team drew their 4th tie of the season, while the women's soccer team secured a 2-0 victory. On the football field, UTEP ended their 4-game losing streak with a 27-14 win against Florida International. Quarterback Cade McConnell had an impressive performance in his first collegiate start, throwing for 2 touchdowns. And in the NHL, Elmira native Johnny Beecher made his debut with the Boston Bruins, contributing to their 3-1 victory against the Chicago Blackhawks. It's always exciting to see athletes shine in their respective sports. Lastly, Northern Ireland's water and sewage services operator, NI Water, is facing a funding shortfall and challenges in meeting demand. The wastewater facility is over capacity and requires significant investment for upgrades. However, the funding falls short of what is needed, posing a challenge for the company. Ensuring access to clean water and proper sanitation is crucial for public health, and it's a reminder of the importance of investing in infrastructure. That's all for today's news roundup. Remember, your thoughts and opinions matter too. What are your thoughts on these stories? Do you have any questions? I'd love to hear from you. Thank you for tuning in. The content above showcases the latest briefing reports and analytical synopses, thoughtfully curated by the 6Do team. These insights stem from a wide array of reputable media outlets, think tanks, government sources, and specialized experts worldwide. We encourage you to explore these sources for a comprehensive perspective. Keep in mind that while the content may not always align with the official standpoint of 6Do Brief, it's not meant to be taken as absolute directives for decision-making. Comprising seasoned media professionals, learned scholars, and accomplished scientists, the 6Do team embodies a trailblazing, fully independent media entity. To customize 6Do Brief to meet your professional needs, you have the option to subscribe to a diverse array of briefings on our website, 6dobrief.com. Regardless of your location, you can conveniently receive 6Do Brief via email.